I guess we've all got stuff like this in our house, so let's transform this into something usable. Into all these gorgeous goodies. So if you want to see how to make these, stay tuned. Okay, so what have we got here? I'm Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to make some gorgeous little journal inserts from book images, Amazon packaging paper. We may throw in a bit of sewing pattern paper just for some extra texture. And yeah, let's clear this out. So if you've got one of these big Amazon sacks, they're pretty huge. They're very, very useful, I have to say. But if you've got any of these are going to make wonderful backdrops for your journal cards. Now, this is a sack, as it were. So I'm going to just cut this open so it's less cumbersome on my desk. And I'm also going to iron it. So I will come back once I've done those two things. I'm just going to cut it down the edges, iron it out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. Now, I've cut it into half, so I've got two kind of complete sheets. Now, I will probably cut these down a little bit more just for the purposes of the video. But what I'm going to do, I think, first of all, is actually just fold it in half like this. Okay. And what I'm thinking is, when I make my pieces, I'm going to try and layer them up. So, if I take this here, what I'm going to do as my first thing, I'm going to stick my pictures onto this sheet. So I've got here a bunch of pictures from book pages. So I'll just show you the types of things that I've chosen. So these are just from an old book, talking about a village or a town here in the UK. And there are these gorgeous images which, are vintage kind of style images. So I'm just going to cut them down, and again I'm going to just go in and sort of cut them to the sort of size that I would like them. And if there's anything that I don't particularly like in the image, I can get rid of that. Or if the image is kind of, I don't know, got a lot of sky or something, I can cut that off just to kind of make it a better size for using as pieces for our junk journals. This one, I mean, it's not the nicest image, I've got to be honest, but let's just cut that down there. Okay, so this was a book about West Yorkshire. That's kind of miles and miles away from where I am here, so it's probably, I don't know, 250 miles away from where I am. It's kind of up the other end of the country. Very beautiful countryside in Yorkshire. So yeah, right, okay, so I prefer these style pictures. These are a bit more Victorian looking, just judging by kind of the transport and the dress and things like that the people are wearing. So these are kind of more, more what I had in mind, really. So I'm just going to cut these down, and these obviously are a bit more tricky because I don't want to lose lots of the picture, because they're full of gorgeous images. So they're going to be more tricky to cut them down, trying to keep as much of the detail in the picture as possible. Obviously you can make these larger. I'm just kind of saying let's make them a little bit smaller, because the chances are what's going to go into the journals, you're going to possibly want smaller. But it's up to you. You could obviously do them as full size images. That would be fine too. So just cut a few of these out. And then I've also got some other slightly different looking book images. So these are, like I say, from a kind of book about some towns and villages. So I'm going to cut this one out in a moment. And then I've got some of like the famous paintings from that famous paintings book, which I've used lots and lots of times. So again, for example, this painting, it's very square. It's got a lot of, I was going to say ceiling, no, sky. So I'm going to cut this down quite significantly so it's, a much smaller journal card. So I'm going to cut all of these out and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've cut out my pictures, and what I've got here is some other book page. This is also some vintage book page. So these are vintage books, but they're kind of like from the 80s. These are very vintage books. As you can see, this one very, very old. I'm just going to cut this one out actually. This is another picture which I thought would be really nice in this way. So just take that one. So I mean, you can use kind of any style of pictures, you know, for these types of things. So there we go. Right, okay, now what I'm going to do a variety of different types, because we don't want them all looking, you know, the same, obviously. Let me cut this down slightly more, because I'm thinking that's quite large as it is. Yep, taking that down, maybe take it slightly more in here. Okay, not making a good job of cutting this. It's not looking very straight, but you know, that's fine. It will all be fine once it's done. Okay, so I've got my walnut stain here, and I'm going to just, oh dear, over inked that, haven't I? It's very brown now. Oh well, it looks better very brown than very black and white, you know, as it was in the book. So yeah, I mean, although that was a mistake, putting it on quite so heavily, I don't mind it. And to be honest, sometimes, you know, when you buy vintage photographs and things, they do have like really big marks on them, don't they, where they've got marked, you know, kind of maybe while they're sat on somebody's desk or whatever. So I mean, this, I've got a couple of like splotches, I think, of like my cup of tea. But again, you know, that doesn't matter. It's kind of making it look more vintage, to be honest. So I think, you know, anything goes, and you can kind of like make the most of things, even if you've damaged them, as I would say. You know, sometimes that can actually add to them and make them look more authentically vintage. Now this one here, this one's very, very dark. So obviously my ink's not really doing a great deal. I've only got 1 or 2 patches on there that are really kind of visible as being paler. So I'm just going over those in particular with the walnut stain. I don't know how much kind of difference that really did make to that, if I'm truthful, but hopefully it kind of made a bit of a difference. So just ink around these. Okay. I mean, they just instantly look better, don't they, for having the ink. And, you know, this, I've been very patchy about this. You know, some of it's probably not been touched by the ink. Some of it has. It doesn't matter. It all looks fine. Okay, so I finished inking all of those. So just to spare you the process of me actually just sat here inking them, which is probably not really very interesting to watch. So I want to glue them down now onto my, in the ironing process, I've now glued it onto my desk. Want to glue them onto my packaging paper. Now, what I want to do is, I think, have them spread about so that I can hopefully tear them out, because I don't really want them to look really, you know, like, yeah, uniform. I want them to kind of like have all different kind of appearances. So just glue them on random, you know, random spaces around. So this one, just pop that down onto there. Oops. Now you will need a glue spreader, and by glue spreader I really just mean like an old card of some kind. So because obviously these are, you know, book images that are going to end up going lumpy. I mean, to be honest, they do sometimes have a bit of a lumpy appearance anyway, you know, but obviously if you can spread the glue out, that's going to at least help with that. So there we go, that one. Now I'm going to put one down onto some of this book page, I think, so for a little bit of a different look. Actually, I'm just thinking, to be honest, probably would be better off using one of the smaller ones for this. So I think actually when they're bigger images like this, I'm going to put them straight down onto the brown paper. Like that. Okay. Oh dear. Not wanting to stick that one for some reason. It's resisting sticking onto the brown packaging paper. I don't know why that is. Okay, never had that before. I don't know quite why that's happening. But if that continues to happen, I wonder whether I've got 2 pages. No, I haven't. If that continues to happen, then I guess what you could do is just kind of glue it into place and then we can take it to the sewing machine. So, you know, all is not lost. We're just kind of like putting it on there, and then we can obviously take it to the sewing machine. It's a bit like that packaging's got something that's making it a little bit resistant. I don't know why that would be, but yeah, just something to note there. Never experienced that before, but hey, all these things kind of do crop up from time to time, don't they? So let's take a slightly smaller one. So maybe that one. I don't really want to lose any more of that image, and maybe this one. Okay, so we can pop these onto the book page first. Okay, that one. Again, just kind of spread that nice and flat with the card. This one. Okay, that one that I was having problems with sticking down looks like it has kind of stuck down now, so hopefully that will be okay. But if not, like I say, I'll just take it to the sewing machine, and then it will, you know, will be attached there. So that one and that one. And then what I'll do, I'm just going to tear these down like that. Okie dokie. Okay, looking good. And yep, see whether I can put that maybe down there. I wonder whether I've got quite enough space there. Maybe not. I have to put it up here. So yep. Again, plenty of glue on there, and just pop that on down there. Okie dokie. Looking good. Then let's tear this one out. I'm going for the rustic look, so just tearing the edges rather than cutting them. I just kind of fancy that, I think, for these. So, yeah, obviously if you don't like the torn edges, you could always cut them instead. But I think the torn look's going to look quite good for these. So, okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking maybe I will have to take all of these to the sewing machine, because to be honest, they seem to be not wanting to stick down all that brilliantly on this brown paper. I think it must have some sort of maybe waxy film slightly. Maybe that's proving a little bit resistant. So obviously I'm using the inside of the sack. So, you know, maybe that's got a bearing on it as well. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we've got a couple more smaller images here, so I'm just going to take the smaller ones and place them onto this paper now. Okie dokie. Just pop her down, and that one. It's really chilly in my room today. Yeah, it's very chilly outside. Again, I am filming this ahead, and I know I say this all the time, but yeah, if it's blazing hot sunshine for you guys, it's just that I have filmed this on a freezing day. And, you know, sometimes it takes a long time before the videos go up or get posted. So, yeah. But as I'm filming this, it's freezing. So when I got into my car this morning to go to the gym, this was like 6:15 this morning, it was... well, it was 0 degrees, but more. When I tried to get into my car, you know, it unlocked and then the door wouldn't open. The door was kind of like frozen shut, you know, just frozen shut. So, yeah, I got into the car and then unlocked the car, but couldn't then actually open it. So, yeah, it was pretty cold, to be honest. And then I had to sit there for ages, obviously clearing the windscreen. So yeah, I mean, I could have come back in the house and got like a kettle of water and poured that on, or I don't know, got a scraper. I'm not even sure that I've got one anymore, to be honest. But yeah, I couldn't be bothered. I thought, oh well, I'll just sit here and wait for the car to warm up and, you know, blast the screen with the, you know, the blower. So yeah, very cold. Very, very cold. I mean, it's not that often that I get it where the door won't actually open. So, and funnily enough, my son, when he got to the gym, I'd messaged him and said, oh my gosh, just to warn you, it's like freezing outside. My door wouldn't even open. And when he got to the gym, he said he'd had the same thing. His car door also wouldn't open. So, yeah, it was pretty freezing. Okie dokie. And then I think what I'll do also is we might just do 1 or 2 with some sewing pattern paper as well. Just so again, so we've got some different looks to play with. So, oops. I mean, this one I've kind of scraped it and, yep, damaged the picture. It doesn't matter. It's all fine. It will look fine once it's done. And in some ways, you know, that might be more interesting, to be honest, than some of the others. Oh, I haven't glued that one down yet, so I will glue that one down in a minute. But let's put this one onto some of this sewing pattern paper. Okie dokie. Like that. Just pop that down there like that, and then just glue it from this side because the sewing pattern paper is quite thin. I don't want it to stick yet. So I'm just going to, oh gosh, try my best to tear this. I might have to just go in and cut this, to be honest, because I don't know if you can see what's happening, but I'm like losing it. You know, it's just tearing next to the picture, if you see what I mean, in lots of the places. So yeah, it's ending up like it won't even be visible. Oh my goodness, what rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I do find it quite difficult to tear that sewing pattern paper, but I like the torn edges, so yeah, I wanted to kind of see how that looked. Okay, so let's glue this one down. Okie dokie. This one's quite brittle book page, this particular book page. So not the picture, but the one that I glued it onto. So I just need to be careful because it is a bit likely to, you know, just snap. Okay, right. I'm going to glue the rest on and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back and they're all glued down or gluing down. I've got 1 or 2 left over, but I just thought we'd do these ones for the moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tear them off of this sheet. So I think what I'll do to make it kind of easier for tearing them, I'm going to just cut this sheet down slightly so that they're just slightly easier to get to. So I just take it down like here, like that, and obviously cut it away here like that. Okay, now like I said, I hadn't noticed this ever before, you know, but it is having a bit of resistance, so you might be able to see a lot of my pieces are wanting to lift in the corners and things, which, you know, I'm not overly thrilled with that. So unfortunately, I am going to have to stitch these where I hadn't actually realised that that was going to happen. So that's a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to tear these down like this. Now, again, going to try not to get too obsessive. So, you know, if like with this one, you know, I end up with some bits massive edging, some bits kind of like even onto the picture, if you see what I mean, or under the picture. I'm not going to get too stressed about that. It's, you know, it's all fine. So there we go. And I mean, just like that, I think looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So I'm just going to then smooth it out a little bit more on the back because it is quite wrinkled still, even though I had ironed it. There we go. I mean, that just looks lovely like that, doesn't it? So I'm just going to go round and tear around them all. And then I think what we're going to do, I wouldn't mind layering these up like so that they're double layered, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to tear them all out. Then we'll come back. We'll see what we want to do with them, you know, how we want to double layer them. I mean, I'm thinking just with the rest of the brown packaging, but maybe we'll mix them. Maybe we'll have some on the brown packaging and some on, you know, some book page, some on something else. We'll just kind of play it by ear. So I'll come back in a second once I've torn these out. Can you see there, by the way, sorry, how much that's lifting? So very annoying. You know, they definitely will need stitching down. So yeah. Okay, so I've torn them all out now. So what we want to do now is hopefully kind of double layer them. So I've got obviously, you know, the other bit of the Amazon packaging. So again, now I'm going to use obviously the top side. I just need to be careful of this sellotape strip. So perhaps I will cut that off like that. Because I don't have that sticky residue kind of on my pieces. Now I'm doing it this way up this time because I want to obviously avoid having the, you know, the Amazon logo kind of on the back, if that makes sense. So just going to strategically place these hopefully around where I can get a few on, and then obviously I've got the rest of the Amazon packaging that I can layer up, you know, some more. So we'll just kind of put them on, you know, maybe something like this. I don't know whether that's annoying, isn't it? Because this whole big smile, the Amazon smile, that's going to just be, you know, somewhere on all of these bits, which is, yeah, pretty irritating. Well, unless I do it like this, actually. Ah, that might be better. I want to just try and maximise, you know, to be able to get, you know, the most out of the paper. I mean, heaven forbid that I would actually bin something, you know, and not use all the paper. Right, okay, so we're going to do it something like this, I think. So again, I'm just going to literally glue them down onto here. Now, I did say before, didn't I, about we might, you know, might layer up some more bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do, like for this one, I will just layer this onto the sewing pattern paper. Like that, okay. Now, I didn't go too well with tearing my sewing pattern paper, so I'm just going to try and like cut it, but hopefully not looking too straight. So it would look like, you know, a bit more have a torn effect, even though I have technically cut it instead of torn it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too great with this, but there we go. I just didn't want it looking really straight, you know, as if I've just cut it out. So that looks not too bad. Okay, just so we've got some texture going on really, and some other layers. So I thought that would look quite fun. So let's just quickly glue this one down. Be interesting to see whether these glue better onto this, which is obviously the top side, if you see what I mean, of the Amazon packaging. I had used the, you know, the inside of the other one, of the other sheet. Be interesting to see whether this has also got that same sort of waxy film that prevents them wanting to stick down. I don't know whether it's likely to or not, but yeah, that's really annoying. Really annoying. Because I wasn't planning on going and doing some sewing now in amongst the video, but now I'm going to have to because they're, you know, they're not wanting to stick down otherwise. So, oops, hang on. Just noticed I've not got that covering up all of that barcode type part. So let's just glue that down like that. Okay. Oops. Smooshed glue across there. My gosh, I'm making a terrible job of these. Oh, this seems even more resistant to this sticking down. Can you see? That's just lifting straight away, which is so annoying. I wish that I had realised this. Yeah. My original thoughts had been to do this with junk mail envelopes, and then I had this huge sack kind of thing, and I thought, no, I could do with using that up and getting it out the way. So I opted for this, and now I can't tell you how much I'm regretting this, and wish to goodness that I had used the junk mail envelopes, because I wouldn't have then had to go to the sewing machine, which is really annoying. Okay, right. Now what I'm going to do, I think, with these, I'm going to just sit on these. So while I glue the others, I'm going to tuck them under my leg. And then who knows, maybe they'll be glued down enough that I won't have to then take them to the sewing machine. So let's just pop them down under my leg, or under my bottom, like, if I'm truthful. So right, hold on a second. Right. Let's see if I can just squish them down with my weight. Right, okay, so bring in the next side. So this one's got like a seam in it, so I'm going to just, I don't know whether I can tear that apart. Okay. Okie dokie, and then we'll just go in, popping a few of these down. I do quite like that sewing pattern paper, I have to say. So yeah, going to try and do a couple more with the sewing pattern paper. Sorry, that just seemed like a mouthful for some reason. Putting it in between the layers, just because I think that does add something quite nice, doesn't it? So just again, stick that down from that side. Okie dokie, and then do this one as well, I think. So yeah, pop that one down, and then I'm going to do that same kind of weird cutting method, so that hopefully we've got then a bit of texture. Now this one, I have to say, this is layered upon layered, because this one's also layered onto the book page, and now of course I've layered it onto the sewing pattern paper as well. So I hope I haven't overdone the layers on this and it will end up looking absolutely rubbish, but we'll see. We'll see. And do I have another one that's quite small? Yeah. Oh, that one's also already got a layer. So, and these are quite big. So, oh, we'll just do these ones. So, again, just take my scissors and sort of, you know, just jaggedy cut around it. So, you know, I just don't want it looking straight, basically. So, I mean, weirdly, I don't like to speak too soon, but yeah, my method is a little bit better then. Seem to have got slightly more the method of like tearing my scissors through, where instead of like, you know, just cutting jaggedy, I'm literally like tearing the paper with the blades, if that makes sense. So like that. And then there. Okie dokie. Right. Let's get rid of these scraps. Okay. Like that. Okay, get rid of those. Right. Okay, right, let's very quickly mount all of these. Then I'll just see how the ones that I'm sat on are doing, whether I can get away with, you know, not taking them to the sewing machine, or whether I'm going to have to relent and go and stitch them. Fingers crossed that they're going to be, you know, doing quite nicely, just without having to take them to the sewing machine. So pop that one down, and then this one just about fit that on beside it. So yep. Okay. Like that. Ooh, dear. Like that. Okay, I'm just going to, again, just cut these two out a bit. Now I'm going to just smoosh them down from the back, because this is obviously your journaling surface. So, you know, just want to try and get it as smooth as possible. I did forget to do this on my last couple, the ones I'm now sat on, but hopefully that's fine. Okay. Tear this. Oh my goodness. I mean, these are just like not wanting to stick at all, which is really, really annoying. Really annoying. Yeah. I wish I'd have realised. Okay, I mean, that's quite big. It's quite layered-y, isn't it? Maybe we can go in a little bit more. I mean, to be honest, because we've got that sewing pattern paper, that's fine like that. because we've still got the layer, if you see what I mean. So then in fact it's kind of almost prettier, because one of those layers is like transparent, you know, from the sewing pattern paper. So yeah, that's quite pretty. Right, just again pop that onto my bottom. Okay. Oh, the moment of truth in a minute when we lift them all out and see. That's where we see that I'm still going to have to bake them to the sewing machine, which will really be annoying. Okay, so we've got that one. Again, it's very layered, but that's fine. I'm just going to put that under me. Okay, right. So the other ones, obviously, they're quite big anyway, so I don't want to actually add any more layers because I think then they're going to end up huge. So I'm just going to go with these kind of like as they are, really. So we just glue these down. Now, hopefully we're going to end up with some really gorgeous pieces here. And obviously we're going to decorate them. So, and to be honest, I think we're going to get so many different looks that, to be honest, I think I will be making more of these after the video. Because I think there's kind of almost like endless possibilities that you could do with these to finish them off. That's that one. Again, let's just try and tear this down and just sit on it as quick as possible. Okay. I mean, you could obviously do them just one, you know, one layer thickness, and that's fine too. I have made them like that, to be honest, and they turned out lovely. But I thought that actually layering them up would make them a little bit more fancy, a little bit more kind of interesting to look at. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to just put one layer, that would be fine too. So I'm just going to quickly finish the other couple off. Now I'm trying to kind of like be a bit slicker in my videos. Now obviously I don't know whether I'll stick with this, because I might find that actually it just proves too time consuming, then having to keep editing the videos and things like that. But you know, whether I go on like this or not, and to be honest, it might make no difference. People might not really enjoy the videos any more than they do anyway. But yeah, for the time being, there will probably be a mix of this format and this format, if you see what I mean. But it's just a bit of an experiment, so we'll just see how we get on. But like I say, if it seems like a bit weird because I've now said this, and then there's a mix of like, you know, showing you every single stage for every single item, it's just because obviously I've filmed those previously. But like I say, if it really makes no difference and my videos don't seem to gain any more excitement from doing this, I probably will go back to the original format, because this is a lot of you know, stopping and starting the video, and then obviously there'll be a lot of editing afterwards, so it will kind of prove more time consuming to do. So it won't be worth it if the videos actually aren't receiving any more you know, like enjoyment factor from people watching. So we'll just have to kind of see, really. But I'm trying to give these a little bit of a try with a bit of a new style. Now I'm just going to just quickly fold this in, and then I'll tear these down in a second, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. So touch wood, the whole sitting on these does seem to have done the trick. So yep, fingers crossed, they are indeed you know, glued down and glued together. So let me just show you first of all. Look at this gorgeous yummy bunch of little journal cards. So they feel really nice, and yeah, they're kind of like, yeah, just very tactile. So absolutely loving them just exactly how they are. You know, even if I did nothing more to them, I'm loving them just, you know, how they are. But let's kind of do a couple of things like with a few of them and just decorate, you know, decorate a couple up. So I'm just going to ink around this, and again, because we've got those layers, I can go in with my ink like this and give it the curly, you know, the curly edges, which, how gorgeous does that look? I'm not saying I want to do that with all of them, but yeah, definitely perhaps one or two I think would look really good with that. So maybe this one as well. So just go in and, you know, curl up those edges. Just gives it even more texture. And like I say, because we've got the two layers going on, I was going to say they're lift separately. This one doesn't seem to be lifting quite so well. I think because I've torn the layers very close together, if you see what I mean. But it's still, you know, it's still got that effect roughly going on. So then we can obviously decorate these. I've got like a variety of different things that we can use. So I've got some butterflies, I've got some labels, I've got some words. I've got some floral trim, which, you know, again, depending on, you know, how we want to decorate these, do we want to add some colour and things like that? Or we could keep them completely neutral. I've got like bright lace for if we wanted to, you know, add some extra colour again with the, you know, by way of some lace and things. And I've also got, I just have to reach up and get it, I've got my little flowers. So again, let me just see whether I've got any more neutrally coloured ones. So I've got, yep, a few different colours. Do I have any neutrals? Must have some that are neutrally coloured, I'm sure. Okay, so yep, they will look very cute on there. And, you know, we can just, oh, maybe not that one. Yeah, that one was not neutrally coloured at all. And then I've got some tickets and things that I printed this onto, oh gosh, what's this paper called? It's like the deli wrap kind of paper. So, you know what they sometimes would wrap like a, I don't know, sandwich or something like that in. Now, I have to say, I bought this a really long time ago from Amazon. I think I did get it. And it came in a huge quantity because obviously it's sold for like catering kind of purposes. It is lovely. Like when you've managed to print on it, it is wonderful. You know, you can see it's very flimsy and gorgeous. The problem was getting it to print on there in the first place, because when the printer takes it, it kind of like wants to suck it through more than one sheet and things like that. So although it is lovely, it's quite a faff getting your printer to actually, you know, want to print on it in the first place. So that's the only kind of caveat that I would say with this kind of paper. I can't remember what I called or what it was called, you know, how I found it, because like I say, it was actually a really long time ago that I actually found it in the first place. But definitely, you know, it is gorgeous, but it's just worth noting that it's kind of like, oops, tricky sometimes to actually print onto it. So just take a little flower there. Oh gosh, what's going on with my stapler? Oh, that's not a good start, is it? Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, don't you hate it when things go wrong when you're filming? Yep. All right, let's try again. There we go. Oh, that was much better. Don't know what was going on with that first one. So could just kind of like pop a ticket on there and just a flower. And, you know, I've just stapled that, not even going to put a centre in the flower or anything, but looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? Obviously, I had a lot of blank space here in this photo, so it wasn't like it was covering anything up, you know. So something like that can work really nicely. I've got here a little label, so perhaps we'll finish this one off with just having a little label on here. So, yeah, we could have a label. Now, I do also have some of the bits from my vintage desk. Now, I'd printed these onto like two papers, if you see what I mean. So I'm thinking maybe layer a couple of bits up, so like that, and then have like the ticket like on there as well. So again, maybe even again just staple those would look very cute. So pop them on like that, and oops, in fact could even have that. Oh, now I'm thinking actually, yeah, actually I'd prefer it like that. So yeah, change of plan. Now I'm going to try my hot glue this time because I don't want to have to re-sit on this. So let's just take that and just pop that down in the centre. You know, like the pictures like in an art gallery and things, when they just have the titles on the pictures down at the bottom. Doesn't that look gorgeous? So, I mean, these are very, very, very simple decorating things that we're doing here. We're doing nothing, you know, drastic or complicated at all. It's all very easy peasy stuff that we're doing. So this one here, maybe we could just have, you know, a little word or something over the top of there. So just take that word. I can't honestly remember where these words are from. They may be from the Junk Journal Basics Kit 1. I'm just going to ink that up. I could just have something like that on there, and maybe even just pop that onto a bit of lace as well. So, I mean, I'm just literally grabbing things that are laying around the desk. I'm trying not to overthink this, trying to just, you know, go with whatever's here. So again, just going to, I think, pop this one down first with the hot glue like that. And then I'm going to pop the word onto the lace. Now that lace is very large actually on there, so let's just take that down. Oops. And just pop that onto there. Okie dokie. Like that. But I mean, like I say, they're actually absolutely gorgeous just even on their own, you know, even if you didn't add anything else to them. They look absolutely lovely. You know, yeah, I don't even need, or they don't even need anything else at all. So again, you know, I don't know whether I want to actually add some colour here or keep these bits more neutral. So let's just see whether this lends itself. Oh, that's quite nice on there, I have to say. So I know I might just staple this onto here. Oops. Oh, should have bought my Tim Holtz tiny attacher along instead. Instead I'm using this ginormous stapler, which not the best really for a tiny butterfly like that, but it's okay. It's yeah, it works fine. Again, maybe we could even have a butterfly on here or something, but to be honest, I think that's quite nice just like that, with just, you know, just one butterfly as a statement piece. So you could add, like I say, maybe some coloured lace or something to add a contrast. Let's just check that I want it on there. You know what's going on here, don't you? Yep, you guessed it. I'm now wanting to hoard all of these bits. I don't actually want to use them at all because I love how they look. They've all turned out just really, really nice. And so now, yeah, of course, I don't now want to actually use them or spoil them or, you know, anything else. I just love them just as they are. Like that. Maybe you could even put some bling on there. So just get like a bit of bling. Oops. Just cut that down. Hold on. Oops. Like that. I mean, doesn't that look so pretty? Just kind of finishing that off like that. I do have, I think, another one of these Amazon packaging bags under my desk. So, or if it's not one of those, it's something very similar. I think it is one of these. So yeah, I might have to make some more of these after the video because I just really love them. You know, they just feel gorgeous. They're a brilliant way to use things up. And, you know, I can just picture them being very, very useful to have, you know, to have ready. So, yeah, definitely I think I will be making some more of these. Again, I'm like, oh, do I want to kind of colour these up? Maybe on that one, because it's sort of got some colour in it anyway. So if I just pop that onto there, like that, and then maybe a little gem just in the centre of that butterfly. That looks very pretty. And then actually the other thing that I did bring along was, you know, when we decorated our, oh gosh, what do you call these? You know, the whale tail punch things. I thought these would look quite pretty with some of these. So you could finish them off with like a whale tail punch. Now, I'm not saying that that one necessarily is right for that one. Let's just see if I've got a different one that might look good. I don't know now. Yeah, I'm not sure that any of these are quite suitable for this. Well, let's just keep that one like that. So let's see if I've got one that we could use for another one of these. Okay, so maybe that one. That looks, oh, that looks gorgeous on there, doesn't it? And it just gives it a little bit of colour. I'm not saying it necessarily needed any colour, but it just makes it look a little bit more exciting, I suppose. So, yep, pop that one down like that, and then just glue down the back as well. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? So perfect use for our decorated whale tail tabs. They look really pretty on there, don't they? Oops. Have to say, I've got to make some more of these. I'm beginning to run out. I made a couple more, you know, the day that we did the video. I did make a few more that day, but yeah, I'm now beginning to run out, and to the point that now I, of course, want to hoard them and not actually use them. Oh gosh, look, I mean, I'm down to the bare minimum in my container there. So yeah, I don't want to now use them all up. Pathetic, isn't it? But oh, that one's quite nice on there. Or actually, maybe there. Yeah, I think maybe on this one. So just pop this one down. And then for this, what we could do is, and as luck would just have it, I happen to be able to see I've got some more of these flowers just laying around. Just beside, oops, just beside my desk. Come on, come on. Oh gosh, come on. What we could do is kind of like incorporate some of the blue flowers somewhere else, you know, so it just ties in the tab and the picture, if you see what I mean. So, you know, we could just have those kind of like somewhere on there. I mean, just even just like that would look pretty. So, yep. Oops. Just like that. And that just ties in the flowers from each of the elements, doesn't it? So it looks very pretty. Okay. Oh gosh, we're down to our last two. So, I mean, we flew through these, didn't we? They took no time whatsoever to actually decorate these and sort of bring them together. So for this one, I'm just going to glue this down instead of stapling it. And just then pop a gem in the middle. Oops. There we go. Like that. There we go. Oh my goodness, that one's my favourite, I have to say. Absolutely love that. I love those vintage books, you know, with like the pictures in. Now I have to say, you know, they're kind of sometimes quite tricky to find books like that, but yeah, I do absolutely love them. You know, when you do find them, they're like, wow, really a lucky find, I have to say. Now I'm just wondering whether I've got any more of my frames, so I'll just have a look and see. I did have some up here. Of course that would be way too easy, wouldn't it? They were just sat there now. No, of course I can't see any now. Oh, that's annoying. Got that one, that's way too big. I mean, weirdly, you could kind of do it like that and put something actually in the centre. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I actually think that looks quite cool. I don't know whether I'm brave enough to do it, which, ridiculous, you know, the irony. Why I'm so paranoid about ruining my picture. But yeah, I mean, I do actually kind of quite like it with the, you know, the something in the middle. And to be honest, I mean, you're not really actually kind of messing it up as such, because actually that's just building in the middle. So, you know, it's just windows that we would be covering. So let's just see if we were to put that there. just see whether I could, you know, I don't know, put some flowers or something to, you know, tie it in a bit better as well. I'm not sure about that. Well, we could do something like that. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on like a pocket, you know, like we always say, put things down as a pocket, and then you've got the options. So we'll just pop that down in the middle. Let me know what you think to this. Do you think this is like crazy and looks really strange? Or do you think it's kind of like quirky and okay? I mean, I think yeah, I think it's a bit strange, but I think it's quite quirky and quite, you know, quite okay. It works. It works okay, I think. But let me know what you think. Am I just talking rubbish? Are you guys thinking, that does not work? What on earth are you talking about? And then we could just have a little gem there. Oops. And then I wonder if I've got a butterfly that we could use as well. So that, oh dear. Let's just see what butterflies I've got here. Have I got any that I need to print some more butterflies? I'm always in a situation where I need to print more butterflies, honestly. Just use them at like a rate of knots, as they say, as the saying goes, a rate of knots. Just one of those like really yeah, really quick to use pieces, you know, that is like, oh my goodness, no sooner have I printed them than I've used them. Let's try this one. It's not really the right colour, but we'll just see. Still freezing in my room. Oh, been filming for ages now. Yeah, I'm still not warmed up, and I've got like a really thick cardigan on, which you can probably see. Yeah, I was taking my life in my hands wearing white sleeves and these puffy sleeves that are draping as well. I probably stand up in a minute and have a look, and they've probably got ink all over the back of them, you know, like the underside. They're probably covered in ink, but yeah, they're probably not looking their best now, it's got to be said. But it's a really thick cardigan, and I've got a polo neck on underneath it, and I'm still not really warming up, unfortunately. There we go, we'll have it like that, I think. So there we go, like that. And could always put like a word or something on there as well. Let's just see. Oh, or maybe actually, maybe in black, because the, you know, the picture is kind of black and white. So let's just see how this looks. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Don't know. What do we think? We could just have that there. Well, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah. Let's just pop that down in the middle. Oops. Like that. There we go. Oh, looking gorgeous now. Okay, looking gorgeous. Right. So let's check out the ones that we have made. Obviously, I've got those other couple of pictures which I also had cut out, which then I didn't end up using because I, you know, just used that kind of one sheet of the Amazon packaging. But we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay, we've done 10. Completed 10. Obviously, I've got the other couple of pictures which I've cut out. So I'm going to definitely make some more of these. What you could do is you could do them like we do the mass making and not decorate them. So you kind of just have them all mounted and ready, and then actually just decorate them when you come to use them. You know, give yourself kind of maximum options there. But yeah, I really hope that you love them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you feel inspired. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much then. Bye.